We have some major updates surrounding this Boston Red Sox organization, including demotions to young prospects, as well as new injury updates surrounding star players, and the newest updates around the newest Red Sox and when we could expect to see them actually participating and playing for this Red Sox organization on the MLB level. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest, but first, please do remember to scroll down and click that subscribe button if you're a part of the near 90% watching this video that are not currently subscribed. We do appreciate all the love and support, so again, thank you guys for everything. But now let's get to it and break down these major updates surrounding the Boston Red Sox, and there are an ample amount of them, and we're going to start with the most recent set of breaking news and how Christian Campbell, the young rookie, is now being demoted back down to AAA, where he'll be playing for the Woo Sox, as reported by Jeff Passan just earlier today, saying the Boston Red Sox are sending infielder Christian Campbell to AAA, sources tell ESPN. Campbell, who signed an 8-year, $60 million contract this spring, was hitting .301, .407, and .495 at the end of April, but is now batting .159, .243, and .222. He'll get a chance to reset down in AAA, and that was reported by the one and only Jeff Passan, and this is major news. Someone in Christian Campbell, who going through spring was not great with a bat in his hand. In the second the regular season officially started, he looked like a veteran. He looked like an all-time pro, and he was batting outrageously, giving us great statistical production at the plate, as well as being above average in the field. Again, whether he was at second base, center field, left field, it didn't matter. Christian Campbell was able to step up and fill in for this Red Sox team at a very, very elite level, much higher than what really anyone anticipated because of the young age that Campbell maintained, as well as the lack of experience on the professional level. And in the little experience that he did have, again, it was spring training, he didn't look great, especially offensively. Then obviously the regular season starts, and that is a completely different story. But now, over the last month and a half, if you will, Campbell's game, especially offensively, has dropped off a cliff. The defense hasn't been great either, and now he gets a chance to go down to AAA and fully reset himself. Now, is it something that Red Sox Nation really expected to see, as, again, Christian Campbell started this MLB season on the opening day roster at such a prime and important position at second base? Not necessarily. But allow this young man to gain more experience and allow him to really find his footing once again, like he did at the beginning of this season, and we could possibly see him back up on the MLB level as soon as the All-Star break. Now, that is not my official prediction. I think the Red Sox are going to play this by year with the amount of young talent they currently have on their roster at their disposal. They're not going to force Christian Campbell. He has been taken care of, 8 years, $60 million, an absolute steal for someone who is as young with so much potential as Campbell. The Red Sox have no business and no reason to force him on the big stage if he is currently slumping the way he is. Allow him to go play with a very good AAA team and just find his footing again, find his ability to swing the bat and find his offensive rhythm again, and allow him to work his way back up to the MLB level. Nothing to absolutely panic over. I don't believe he's going to be used as a piece of trade bait, if you will. I think this is something the Red Sox, and Christian Campbell is someone that the Red Sox are willing to buy in on and not someone they are looking to shop, despite the slump he has found himself in over the last really month and a half, 2 months since the beginning of this MLB season. Now, this is not the only major news that we're covering on this channel. Another Chris Calito tweet, someone that we cite on this channel all the time because he's one of the best at what he does, and that is covering the Boston Red Sox in real time. He goes on to say, sources confirm the Red Sox have optioned Campbell to AAA. Jeff Passan had it, and he goes on to also mention Wilyer Abreu will likely be active tomorrow. Again, this tweet was from today, June 19th, so expect Wilyer available tomorrow for this Red Sox team, possibly in right field, if not a DH option, going into a first game series, or the first game of a 3-game series against the one and only San Francisco Giants. Now, this is currently what the month of June has looked like for the Boston Red Sox. They have won 4 straight series, 2 against the New York Yankees, including 1 sweep, as well as a win over the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Seattle Mariners. Now, the Red Sox are playing very, very good baseball in the month of June, and they need to continue to do so with a massive matchup. Now, I don't have to tell you how big and why this matchup is going to be as substantial and important for this Red Sox team. Obviously, the entire Rafael Devers situation that just took place, resulting in Devers to land in San Francisco for a trade package, all of Red Sox Nation wanted to pull their hair out over. Now, I do have updates on Jordan Hicks as well as Kyle Harrison and really when you could expect them on the MLB stage playing for this Red Sox team. But again, before we get to that, with the play of the Red Sox up to this point, it has been clear as day. Not only is the offense working with and without Rafael Devers, as now we've played 2 games without Devers in the lineup and on the roster, it's the pitching that is getting the job done for the Boston Red Sox. And I don't have all of the lines here. These are just a handful of them, as the Red Sox were on a 6-game winning streak. And in that 6-game winning streak, we were seeing quality start after quality start after quality start from the starting pitching rotation of this Red Sox team. And it did not matter who it was. Crochet was phenomenal. Bello was phenomenal. Lucas Giolito was phenomenal, not only in the stat sheet that we see here, but also just last night against the Seattle Mariners in the 3rd game of that 3-game series. He ended up getting 10 strikeouts, and despite walking a few guys and giving up a few situational base hits that resulted in loading the bases or putting 2 guys in scoring position with a lack of outs, Giolito was fantastic. And I was not someone, I will be honest, and I will admit my wrongs here. After Giolito's first start, I was not on the wagon, despite him looking exponentially better than anyone anticipated after not pitching for the first time in over 2 years. Giolito looked great. And then there was a moment of a few games in between that first start up until about, not the last start, but the start before that, where he simply was not great. And it didn't look like Giolito was going to be able to be a substantial piece in the starting rotation for the Red Sox. And after these last 2 starts, I will fully say I'm on the bandwagon for Giolito. And yes, I wasn't rooting against him in his abilities. I wanted to see him do well. It's just something it was not something I would have bet on in the overall abilities and production that we've seen from him. But now that we're getting it, I am fully bought in, and I hope this is the Giolito the Red Sox and the rest of the fan base get to see start in and start out from this young man, as he has been electric. He collected 10 strikeouts yesterday in his last appearance against the Seattle Mariners. He was phenomenal. And situationally, it was one of the best performances I've seen from a starting pitcher from the Boston Red Sox all season long, as he got out of every big moment. It felt like he was putting himself in, and I loved every second of it. If you guys did not see it, please go check out his highlights. Go check out his box score. It was a fantastic showing from someone who did not give Red Sox Nation a whole lot to believe in, especially early into this MLB season. He's not the only one. Obviously, we mentioned Crochet, Bello, but Hunter Dobbins, the young starting pitcher, the right-handed pitcher for the Red Sox, once again looking phenomenal. Not only his appearance against the Yankees after trashing them, saying he'll never sign with them, even if they were the last team available to offer him a contract, he would retire first. Despite doing that, he bit down on the mouth guard, walked out into Fenway Park, and for the second time in 3 series, Dobbins shoved against the New York Yankees, and it was phenomenal to watch. He was able to control his pitches. He did not walk a lot of guys. He did not give up a lot of hits. He did not give up a lot of earned runs, and it was overall just a very, very good stretch of starting pitching performances from this Red Sox team as a whole. Now, Buehler ended that streak of quality starts, if you will, in the 2nd game of the 3-game series against the Seattle Mariners, as he simply could not keep his command really in control by any means. It was upsetting to watch, but I'm not going to jump the gun on Buehler. He is an experienced veteran, someone that I have a lot of faith in once we get closer to October, as I believe his arm will fully be capable and ready to go once that time frame does really happen, because of the longevity of his career and his ability to add on year after year after year and be that stable, consistent horse always in the pen and ready to go. Now, outside of that, what does the race look like in the AL East? This is as of today, June 19th, following the Yankees win over the Los Angeles Angels today, 7-3. It was the first time they'd won in 6 games. Overall, the Yankees have been on a slide. The offense only works when Judge works, it feels like. And with that, they don't scare me all that much. The scariest team in this division, without a doubt, is the Toronto Blue Jays. They're playing without Santander. They're playing without a few other key pieces, and they're able to win ball games despite being in a negative run differential up to this point in the year. They've been able to score and win games, and they are terrifying against left-handed pitchers. They're probably the best team, at least over the last 30 days, against left-handed pitching. They're smashing baseballs, and I can't wait until the Red Sox get to play the Toronto Blue Jays, whether it's in hostile territory or back in Fenway. I think this series is going to be absolutely electric. Now, overall, the Red Sox are they are currently in a wild card position to get into the playoffs via wild card. Overall, for the entirety of the division, the AL East, they are 5 games back, 2.5 games back from the third place spot in the Toronto Blue Jays, and 2.5 games back from third place, 3 full games from second place, and then obviously 5 games back from first place in the New York Yankees. But overall, a lot better. They've made up a lot of ground, obviously being 9.5 games back just not even a week ago to the New York Yankees. They are playing very, very good baseball, and they are winning series after series after series against very credible opponents, including 3 of them in division. Massive wins for the Boston Red Sox. Now, where do we move? Okay, new names. Jordan Hicks, one of the 2 pieces brought into the Red Sox organization following the trade with Rafael Devers going to the San Francisco Giants. Jordan Hicks threw live BP in AAA today against the Woo Sox. Again, it is just live BP. This is not something to jump up and down about. He's simply working his way back from the small IL stint he is currently on. Expect him to return probably in the next 10 days to 2 weeks. If I had to guess, that is a guess. That is not as reported from a credible source. That is a guess on my part. I expect him to be back in 10 days to 2 weeks. I think he's going to be we broke this down on the last episode of Red Sox Digest. From Breslow, he is mentioned as a, quote, high leverage reliever. It's going to be interesting to see the situations in which he is put in. As Jordan Hicks, up to this point in the year, as a starter for San Fran, had not been elite. He had not been great, really. Yes, he throws very hard, but it seems like he's giving up a lot of hard hit contact, and it's not resulting in the greatest numbers when it comes down to ERA, as well as other expected WOBA and other major statistical categories we track pitchers based off of. So, live BP for Jordan Hicks. He is moving closer to his ability to actually perform and participate for this Red Sox organization. Still at least a little ways away. Now, for the second name in return from the trade package for Rafael Devers was Kyle Harrison. Now, Kyle Harrison is 23 years old. He is a southpaw, someone that the Red Sox organization, specifically Breslow and the rest of this front office, have a lot of faith in. It seems like, as he was one of the main pieces in return for Rafael Devers, someone who is absolutely exponentially one of the best players in the league when it comes to the offensive threat. So, again, a lot of faith in this young man. And we have a few quotes here. This first one from Cooper Boardman. I apologize, I have to lean into my screen. The font is extremely tiny. But he goes on to say, quote, he has a sinker he's been working on in the background in San Francisco. He's going to showcase that, and that we're working on a cutter variation, another pitch to take pressure off of the fastball that has been reported to be semi-flat. I will say it has increased in velocity since last season. Kyle Harrison was throwing about 92 and a half on his four-seam fastball. This year, we have seen it up to 95 and a half, which is a great improvement from someone who is southpaw, someone who is only 23 years of age. He's going to get better, and now he gets to work out in the shadow of Garrett Crochet, as well as a bunch of other guys in this Red Sox organization, in the pitching staff. He's going to be fine. I just don't know how great he's going to be, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to say I was okay with him being the main piece in return for someone like Rafael Devers. Now, it doesn't end there in the sense of updates surrounding Kyle Harrison. As Boston Sports Gordo on Twitter went on to post this same photo, but a different update, saying Red Sox director of pitching Justin Willard said he expects Kyle Harrison to be in AAA for a couple of weeks while they tweak his arsenal. Via Katie Mo 61. I apologize. The font is even tinier in this graphic than the last one. That is why I'm leaning into my screen. I do apologize, but that is what was reported from Boston Sports Gordo. Good news. Again, it seems like we are going to be closer to seeing, if not one, if not both of these guys, the starting pitching, or I should rephrase that as pitching arms that came in return for Rafael Devers returning and presenting themselves for this Red Sox team in a meaningful way in the soon-to-be future. Now, the last update. Now, this is an injury update surrounding Alex Bregman, a star player for the Red Sox we have not seen in about 2 weeks now because of the quad injury he has been dealing with that he suffered just a few weeks ago. Again, Boston Sports Gordo on Twitter giving us this information. Alex Bregman says his quad strain is healing much faster than his last one that caused him to miss 2+ months. He's rehabbing 12 hours a day. He wouldn't give an ETA, estimated time of arrival, but he said he hopes to return before the All-Star break. There's a chance he doesn't go on a rehab stint. Again, reported by Boston Sports Gordo, who is citing Smitty on MLB on Twitter. So big updates not only for Willie Abreu and how we should expect him back tomorrow against the Giants, but also Alex Bregman possibly returning in the next, or I shouldn't say the next 2 weeks, but in the very foreseeable future before the All-Star break, which is going to be in the late to mid stages of July. So that is a huge update for the Boston Red Sox as it's now already June 19th. And we're getting closer and closer to that All-Star break where we could expect to see Bregman back, as well as names like Jordan Hicks and Kyle Harrison, the two returning pieces that are both starting pitching. At least they were. Hicks could possibly be a high-leverage star or reliever by the time he does actually make an appearance for the Red Sox. But these are all major updates, injury updates, as well as the trade personnel updates, all surrounding the Red Sox. And overall, I think it's very, very positive. The Red Sox are playing great baseball, and we've learned a lot in how and when these other key additions are going to be back to this Red Sox team to really boost their overall abilities. Let me know down below, what do you think the biggest update out of this story was, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Red Sox Digest.